All right, so I'm just doing a disclaimer here. I hate that I have to do that, but I just want to point out that I don't hate any of this stuff. Actually, okay, I do hate Garth Ennis. I actually don't like Garth Ennis. But besides that, I'm a big Batman fan. I really enjoy The Boys, but like sequentially less with each new season. But I mean, I like Homelander. I like Invincible. Okay, I'm not a Nolan stan, but Omni-Man's cool. All right, all this stuff is cool. All right, I've had many Batman fans as friends. Okay, I've had Batman fans in my house. Okay, I've had. I would even let. Okay, hypothetically, I would even let an Omni-Man fan date my daughter. Okay, because they're humans too, just like everyone else. I don't believe in discrimination. But yeah, I just want to point out, listen, it's not that serious, alright? I like Zack Snyder a lot. I just don't think he's a great director. But I mean, he has filmed, to this date, I'll die on this hill, he's filmed the best super powered people combat scenes ever. Like, his style was perfect visually. We'll get into that another time. But yeah, just disclaimer, don't start crying, okay? Yeah, it's fine, all right? But I don't like Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis fans, come for me, okay? I don't like Garth Ennis. All right, that's it. So, you don't like Superman? Wow, what a based and brave take. You prefer more realistic superheroes like Batman, who could exist in the real world. Or maybe you're an on-again, off-again Marvel fan caught in an abusive cycle. Yeah! Or maybe you're a Goku fan who's a little too invested in what Death Battle has to say. Or maybe you just hate Jesus allegories. Or maybe you don't like Superman because he's a white boy and he's jacked. Really. I mean, it's probably because he's just so boring, because he just has, well, whatever powers writers want to give him in the moment to ensure he can get out of a jam. I guess it's like if a character had time to prepare for every scenario, and that was just baked into their character like it was a superpower. No one would like a character like that. But really, it's honestly because he's invincible and never faces off against opponents who could actually beat him. There's no tension if he can't lose. Like every action movie where the hero should die a million times over and then doesn't. Everyone hates movies like that. But what about the boring stories? What would he even be doing if it wasn't punching people in the face? It's not like he has a job as a reporter in an entire world of superpowered beings, massive criminal conspiracies, aliens, gods, and corporations more powerful than entire countries. I mean, I guess it would be like having a superhero who has a day job as a photographer or something, who, when not superheroing, they work for a newspaper. No one would like a character like that. Maybe in Superman's long on-screen history and much, much longer print history, he's simply never been done right. Maybe what we need are more heroes so f***ed up, flawed, and mentally unstable that they wouldn't be able to hold down a day job, let alone save anybody. You know, maybe we need more anti-heroes. Yeah. Maybe we need more cynical and jaded, nihilistic assholes with no redeeming qualities and a tragic backstory, because that's more believable, right? Or maybe we need soulless, high-budget elevator music with jokes from rejected SNL skits and characters with no heart and no clear principles. You know, maybe Superman should be a psychotic, vain, exceedingly violent hero supremacist with daddy issues and low self-esteem. Yeah, perhaps that's what Superman is missing. Being a parody of himself. And a cynical one at that. What if Superman was Brightburn, but created by Garth Ennis? Amazing. You know, maybe what Superman is missing is being a despot who brutally murders dozens of people to traumatize his son and then beats him almost to death. Yeah. What if Superman was from planet Vegeta and also had a mustache? Groundbreaking. Revelatory. You know, really, maybe all those criticisms are true and right and also based. Or, and hear me out here, maybe you're just too weak to like Superman. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe Superman is simply too old-fashioned, too goofy and comical. I don't know. Maybe Clark Kent isn't believable. Maybe there's no way to write stories about a character who's raised as a human, but is essentially a god that becomes a symbol for mankind to emulate and look up to. Well, I doubt any characters remotely similar to that even exist, or that they could be seminal characters in a book, say, printed billions of times. With great power comes great responsibility. So it would stand to reason with greater power comes greater responsibility. Superman has chosen to literally put the weight of the world on his shoulders. Somehow an almighty God trying his best to operate as anything but that, so he can live a more full and fruitful life amongst other humans. A hero that saves people, not out of trauma or a want to live vicariously, or for atonement, or so they can beat up minorities, but because they can, and it's the right thing to do. Maybe that character would be boring and unrelatable. A character that's the embodiment of we must protect him at all cost. That's basically the equivalent of what if the most earnest, honest, and kind guy you know could bench press a skyscraper. Somehow, that character is boring or one-dimensional because he's too nice, too emotionally stable. The truth is, people don't like Superman because he represents approachable altruism. Not beating up bad guys or stopping robberies, but opening your eyes to see all the little things you could be doing to save the world. He stops intergalactic warlords who can bench press planets, but he also talks to priests about life, joins security guards on night patrol, is obsessed with his talented girlfriend, loves a view on lunch breaks, and tries to make time for his parents. And he does it without rolling his eyes. He unironically wants to see all the pictures in your phone of your kid's terrible art. He's you or me if we ever got around to getting our shit together. The problem with us, not with Superman, is he's the end goal of most character journeys. They see the maxed out character stats in every category and think, we didn't get to see what he did to get this powerful. Where's the story? Well, it isn't about getting the power, it's about what he does after. He's the answer to will they, won't they? He is happily ever after. And like with many on-screen romances, once the tension has been resolved, once the chase is over, it no longer holds our interest. But here, there is no cut to black because it doesn't end there. In fact, that's where it starts. Superman isn't wild and chaotic summer flings. He isn't the grand romantic gesture. He's not interrupting a wedding to speak now before peace is forever held. He's saying I love you every morning for the rest of your fucking life. He's never going to bed angry. He's intimate touch outside of anything sexual, and he's meaningful time spent together. And if you're paying attention, the diamond Superman probably created with his own hands by squeezing coal still have imperfections. Nothing is perfect. All of the big questions and conflicts other superheroes wrestle with are still there. They just might look different, or they might be smaller, or less dramatic, or less drastic. He still feels pain. He still feels rage. He still suffers. He still bleeds. He still longs and fears and searches for belonging and purpose, and answers to the unanswerable, just like everyone else. But for Superman, it simply isn't the end of the world. He has seen darkness in war-torn corners of the earth. He has seen hate and suffering on a cosmic scale. But somehow, he's still the most optimistic, the least cynical, the most wide-eyed, still that farm boy from Kansas, bumping into pedestrians as he looks up at the sky in the big city. Still radiating strength and altruism and perseverance. For some reason, many fans never ask why. I think I have an answer to that. Because he has a God's eye view of the world and the people on it. If he ever loses sight of the sun, he can fly up and receive revelation all over again. The boundless potential and strength and hope and compassion we see in Superman is simply a reflection of what Superman sees in mankind. Superman serves as a reminder, not of our limitations, but of the possibility of our future, of our revelation. A hope that not only will we never stop looking at the sky, but that soon we too will join him in the sun and see that truth from on high. It's just all of us, interconnected, and we're all we've got. Together, we can still accomplish wonders. Okay, so funny thing, way back in the day, I had just graduated high school and I was working my first real job. Okay, and I developed this little work group of friends. One of my brothers also worked at the same place. Anyway, let me set the scene for you, okay? One time we were hanging out at one of the guys, his parents' place, right? And my brother had another friend who didn't work with us over, and you know, I don't remember how we got on the topic, but we're shooting the shit, and I guess we're talking about Dragon Ball Z, and inevitably, one of the guys mentions how stupid it is that people think that Superman would be Goku. So I launch into some lore, including some of the explanation from that first death battle. Right, so we're going back and forth, and one of the other guys tells us how dumb it is to have a debate about this in the first place. And, you know, we keep going, we're getting heated. I know at one point, Janemba was brought up. Anyway, the point is, we keep going, and finally, the other dude that I'm having the argument with says, well, at least I've had sex before. And my brothers and sisters, and all those in between, I had no rebuttal. Okay, I was crushed. I was fuming the entire time. But anyway, the point is, after all that, Ben, just to let you know, all right, I've had sex now, and also Superman is 3-0 in death battles, so checkmate, I win, buddy.